Holy shit. Oh, where did I go? Just my hair feels weird in my hat. Oh, hat hair. Embarrassing. Anyways, we are back. Oh, I should put this. This is weird. Yeah, this is background noise. I'm back in Atlanta. Anyways, wow. I haven't even checked the last time I made a YouTube video. I guess I'm gonna practice my public speaking here. Gotta cut out these filler words. But I have been wanting to make content videos. I have been wanting to make these kind of video diaries again. But I think I was placing restrictions on myself, just kind of mental restrictions that weren't really necessary. Or I guess they were more so just excuses for me not to do this thing. And maybe there's an underlying reason that makes that kind of valid. Like this past semester, I've been wanting to make videos, or not, the last semester I graduated. Anyways, the last semester of my college career, that's so weird, I'm done with school. But I did want to make videos. I did want to make these YouTube video diaries. But I think, one, I was in a weird kind of growth period. I think I was figuring a lot of shit out that I'm like, now that I have had a good break, this is coming off a semester, graduation, month-long break. Now I'm back in Atlanta and I am starting work in 5 days. And so, even during the break, I wanted to make content. I wanted to make videos, but I was like, worried about I was honestly, I'm gonna be as honest and authentic as possible on this channel, just because I think that's what people, I don't know, I think, my brain's just all over the place. I want to make content that, one, maybe helps people, two, maybe teaches people something about perspective, because I think I've grown a lot, and three, I don't know if that's the last thing, at least act as some sort of friend or companion, because I think, maybe also if you just like listening to me yap, I think there is, well, obviously there's an audience for video diaries and podcasts because people like listening to other people talk, and I'm not sure why people like to listen to me talk. I had a video that was like 300 views. I was just like, what the fuck? And maybe that was a more depressing one. I don't know, because that was after like I stopped going on dates with that one girl. But in any case, I did want to make YouTube videos, and now I'm trying to set my foot down and throw away all these self-imposed mental restrictions that I have and just make videos and just post and just do stuff and practice talking and sharing my life and at least reflecting, giving myself moments to reflect on the growth that I've had. And I guess also it's 2026 now, which I'm still filler words. I'm still mentally processing. I keep saying, oh yeah, next year God, it is this year. But anyways, I wanted to make a video, at least much closer to the actual New Year, because now it's like New Year's Day was a week ago. But now I guess it feels right because I'm in Atlanta, starting a new chapter in my life. This is my first day back from my home state of Massachusetts. And I don't know, I guess now is a good time to reflect, and at least I have the space to myself. My roommates, my old roommate and my two new roommates aren't here yet. So now is a good time to make this kind of content, and at least, because the walls here are actually kind of thin in my apartment. And I think that was one thing that kind of held me back this last semester of just like, I thought it was kind of embarrassing to have people who aren't familiar with the idea. That's not the right phrasing. I thought it was embarrassing to have people hear me just talk to myself like this. And I think that's just it, honestly. I haven't talked to anyone outside of my immediate circle of friends about the videos that I make. And I guess some newer friends haven't really shown this to, because some past videos are embarrassing, and I'm not sure if I name dropped anybody or made it clear who I was talking about. But anyways, that's all behind me now. I really don't care about anything, and I think I'm gonna try to live as authentically and honest as possible. And honestly, I'll just get started with my reflection of 2025 and maybe even my college career. And honestly, whatever, I'm just yapping. But thinking about the person that I have grown into, I mean, that's weird phrasing also. The person I've become today, that's also weird phrasing. Sorry. The person I am now, the person I am at this very moment, compared to the person I was my first day at Georgia Tech, night and day. And I say that to a lot of my friends, but at least for me, just thinking about, like, obviously people can change a lot in 4 years, but even a year ago, I was co-oping in New York for a power company. I guess maybe I shouldn't reveal too much information about myself, maybe. But a year and a half ago, I felt very different. Maybe even, I guess, like 2 years ago now. Because 2 years ago I was in a situationship, and then I went off to my internship, and then that was a weird period. And then I thought I changed. I thought I grew a lot, and then I came back to school. And in ways, I did grow a lot. I did feel like I was a different person, but I realized underneath all of it, it was kind of a facade. And I guess my point is just, like, my growth to me personally is insane, and I'm not trying to boast. I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, I changed so much, like, look at me. But I'm just amazed, because I'm like how I mentioned how I'm a completely different person like 4 years ago. The person I was back then, growing up, I could not imagine. Like in middle school, high school, I had a lot of rough times, and I think because of all those things happening, like compounding and whatever, I genuinely could not imagine a future where I was at peace or happy with myself, or I just thought that was life, and I thought, yeah, okay, this is just what I have to exist with. And I think that situation has at least now put me in a mindset, has given me the ability to have a mindset where there are a lot of things that can be better, could have gone better, things maybe I wish I could change. But I'm very thankful for all the opportunities, the people that I met, the friends and family who have supported me, and every just bit and piece of influence in media and just lesson I learned that got me here. Because without literally everything over the past 4 years, I wouldn't be sitting here. Sorry, that was stupid. Being able to share my perspective, my thoughts, just yap in general. Not that any of this might be coherent, or I haven't even said anything. It's been 10 minutes. And anyways, it's just like, holy shit. Anyway, maybe I should get to actually how I changed. And so I guess just maybe for context, for any strangers watching or people who just discovered this in their recommended feed, I have been trying to change. I mean, I have changed now, but at least in the past, I was someone who I didn't understand myself at all. I didn't feel like I was in control of anything really. I was at Georgia Tech, I got into a good school, but I didn't know how to have a work ethic. I didn't know how to control my scrolling habits. I didn't know how to control my desires, I guess. I didn't know how to feel okay with myself internally. And there was a lot of shit that I was struggling with. And it was hard. Like, I did not tell my parents this. I don't know if I told anybody this, really. Well, maybe. But I was thinking about dropping out of Georgia Tech because I wasn't sure if the school was right. I wasn't sure if I was capable of anything. It was, and that was like middle of sophomore year, so 3 semesters into Georgia Tech, I was just like, holy shit, I've been trying to push myself. I've been trying to make change for myself. I've been trying to put myself out there, meet new people, do new clubs, expose myself to uncomfortable situations that teach me new things about myself, and listen to the things internally that I want to do, but something's holding me back. And that's like the biggest thing, is that these were things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to study. I wanted to be able to do work. I wanted to be someone who was confident, outgoing, blah, 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 whatever. But a lot of things were just telling me, no, this is dangerous. This is stupid. You're a fuck up. Why would you even try this? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of just negative self-talk and a lot of self-hatred and shame. And it was difficult. And I am very fortunate that I had friends from home and friends online, because I'm from Massachusetts, right? And moving to Georgia and having nobody here, no support system whatsoever, was fucking hard. And I was honestly upset with a lot of things, because here I was struggling and hating a lot of shit, and I knew that if I just had support in Georgia, if I could find people who were capable of, if I could just find friends, if I could just meet people who were like-minded, or I could find mutual support in. But I had no idea how to do that, had no idea how to find resources for that, and I was just like, fuck, this sucks. I'm in control of absolutely nothing. And that's where I was at the end of my third semester. I was just like, I should just give up. I really don't know what I'm doing with myself. And the only thing that was really pushing me and keeping me going was the notion somewhere back there that I just had to try to keep pushing. And honestly, I was going to mention this before, but I was really upset that I was just pissed at the world for not being there for me. I was yearning for help. I was crying out, but I couldn't express that exactly. I didn't know how to express that healthily, and I knew that if I tried to express that to an acquaintance or someone I don't know that well, or anybody here at Tech, it was just gonna push them away, because we have to admit that these emotions are strong, and if you don't know how to express them in a healthy way, for the average person who is not dealing with this shit, they're not gonna know how to deal with it. They're not gonna expect it. It's not normal socially, and I don't even think the average guy is capable of dealing with that. I mean, sure, they're like, I don't know. Actually, I won't commentate on that. But anyways, there's a lot of shit I was struggling with. And luckily I found friends, found people who I found a support system, and it allowed me to keep pushing through. And it was 3 people, and hopefully you guys know who you are if you're watching this video. From Georgia Tech Soul Racing, I'll just say that much. And those 3 people locked me the fuck in to Georgia Tech, and I can't say how thankful I am for them, because they changed the entire course of my life. I can say that with absolute confidence. And from that point on, I kept pushing myself, and I saw growth. I kept making changes. I kept rewriting the formula. I kept changing things that didn't work. I kept trying to understand myself. And so from that point on, had my situationship, which went wrong, and then I went to my co-op, and that I thought I learned a bit, and that was 2023. No, wait, was it? It was 2024, sorry. And then coming back to school now, I guess spring 2025, which was last year, I was confident that I had learned enough and I was a different person. And honestly, I think I was. I got a lot more confidence, maybe a little bit more understanding of how to act for myself. And the semester was also I knew the classes were gonna be hard. I know it was gonna be swamped with fucking work. And I was just like, let me lock in, do what's uncomfortable, do the hard thing because it's what's best for me. And the semester started off pretty strong. A lot of hard classes, but a lot of friends in those classes, a lot of support in those classes. And I met one person who honestly made that semester amazing. And I think that, actually, I'm not sure how to phrase this. I guess, to be honest, like, well, a 60-minute video, and I'm talking about her now. I don't know if she's gonna watch this, and maybe she'll even know who I'm talking about. Maybe she'll know it's her. But okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going as if she's not gonna fucking watch this video. But in spite of how heavy that semester was academically, I was working every week was a hell week. There was literally, it was in the first month, there were 3 straight weeks where I woke up and my entire day was work. I had no breaks. It was just work, homework, work, eat, work, zero breaks. I'm not exaggerating. I woke up, did work, existed when I did stuff to be a normal human being, and then I went to sleep and I did the exact same thing the next day for 3 weeks straight, at least, at a minimum. And I was keeping up with it, but I was like, holy shit, this shit is hard. And I honestly it was just the academic pressure and people in the classes and whatever, but oh God. But at least this one person, and of course my other friends, made things so much lighter. Oh my God. I had a lab class that was a fucking blast. At least in my analog electronics course, I suffered, but I had friends to suffer with, so that made things easier, and I don't know how I would have passed that class without them, honestly. I'm dying right now, good Lord. But anyways. But so that was basically my semester. However, the important thing happened because there's one friend that I did like, and I told her I liked her, things didn't work out, and I was like, okay, whatever. That gave me the biggest realization I had the entire time, was that I was operating on external validation, and I think that might be a similar thing for a lot of men. I think I've been Twitter, maybe I've been scrolling too much social media for my own good, but I'm just seeing, I don't know, my feed gives me a lot of gender discourse, and that's probably my fault. But and both perspectives have interesting takes, but at least I saw one thing that talked about how there's a situation where married men ask their wife for sex, and then the wife's like, I'm not in the mood, and it's like, oh, it's been going on for this long, whatever. And some woman was advocating for the men and being like, oh, I realize that this happens because men do all the shit that they don't want to do, and then they come back home and then they're denied the one thing that they're working for. And I realized, I guess that's I think that's kind of in the same vein, is that all this shit, I knew in that moment after I got rejected and was reflecting on everything, that everything that I was doing was just for external validation, because I had no idea who I was doing all this self-work for. I was growing, I was trying to focus better, I was trying to develop a work ethic, I was trying to become just a better human being and develop more confidence, etc., social skills. But the entire time before this rejection, I had no idea who the fuck I was doing it for. I was like, because it's not for, it didn't feel like it was for me. Like I was doing it, like sure, it felt good and I felt like I was growing and life was getting better, but I was just like, but it wasn't for my sake. I didn't love myself enough to do that. And then I realized I was chasing the external validation that I would get. I thought that doing all these things would make me someone that was deserving of these things, and after that I would get the thing that I wanted, and that was someone else to recognize me, to care about me, to show me that I had value, because I had no idea how to give that to myself. And following that, I think a lot of things changed in myself, and I think that maybe that's something all men need to hear, is that you guys are important. You guys have value as you are. You don't need to work your ass off. You don't need to grind 24/7. You don't need to work out. You don't need to have the biggest body. You don't have the biggest muscles. You don't need to, and maybe that's easy for me to say because I go to a good school. Maybe I have access to resources that other people don't have access to. But I think that at the end of the day, what leads to true happiness is internal self-worth and not having to chase after things to get the validation that you're looking for, that you're just trying to get. And I think maybe Buddhism helps there, like letting go of your attachments to things and finding inner peace and reflecting on what's important to you. Maybe that's something that we only take notes from. But anyways, after that rejection, after that realization, that was like the biggest thing for me. And really, it felt like I had opened up a lot of doors there, because a lot of things I didn't understand about myself could kind of tie back to that. I was just like, okay, now that I understand this about myself, I can adjust my behavior and I can think about myself properly. And I think that's what the point of therapy is. And if you're a guy watching this at 22 minutes, which I realize is going to be crazy, but I think therapy, people say therapy is a scam. People say therapy is stupid and gym's therapy and whatever. At least for myself, I should probably get therapy still, even though and my friend would say, yes, I told you so. Yes, I'm aware. But at least I think outside of, I think all of us know or kind of have some direction of where we want to take ourselves in life, whether that's different trades or college or entrepreneurship, etc. But therapy, the purpose of that is when you throw all that away, who are you? And sitting down with yourself and understanding that, taking the time to really sit with yourself and ask yourself the questions of, why are you chasing these things? What are you distracting yourself from? What are you scared of? What are you terrified of? And facing those things is the purpose of therapy. Because I think a lot of maybe self-help and like gym, whatever, people, like gym is good for you, or the workouts in general are good for you because there's space for you to relieve stress and release energy in a way that makes you directly uncomfortable. And I think that's something that we've kind of lost. But anyways, it's a way to manage stress, because really if you're just going through your days and you're stressed out, you're doing all this shit, where's that stress gonna go? Because it's gotta go somewhere. It's not that we can measure, well, there are definitely ways we can measure stress scientifically, but at least just on your own, maybe you don't even realize how stressed you are, but that stress is affecting you in a lot of ways that a lot of us don't realize. And I don't know how the fuck I got to this topic. How the fuck did I get here? Anyways, stress is bad for you, newsflash. Anyway, back to whatever the hell I was saying. God. I guess that's kind of embarrassing to say. After the external validation thing, I guess that's why I was bringing it up, because men, external validation, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Focus on finding what's important to you for yourself, separate from social constructs, social ideas, whatever's been hammered into your brain. Men, please. Detach yourself from the idea of chasing women, of getting money, looking cool in front of other people. What matters to you? What do you stand for? Think critically about what exactly do you care about? Because do you care about these things because you're just raised that way? Or do you care about these things because it actually deeply, intrinsically has value to you? And I don't think people genuinely think critically enough to ask themselves those questions. And I think if you have the ability to ask yourself those questions, then you're going to be way ahead of everybody else. But anyways, actually back to what I was saying about the external validation. So I got rejected by the girl. And the one friend that I mentioned at the start of the semester who was making things great is a girl. And for reasons unknown, insecurities, whatever, maybe actually not insecurities, maybe both, probably both, definitely both, I started having feelings for her, and then kind of mucked everything up and kind of stressed me out, and I was weird, and it was the end of finals, and finals were stressing me out, and I was crashing out, and it was just a bad period of time, all right? And I don't even know how to continue this, but at the time, I had no idea what that was trying to teach me, and I was genuinely thinking, wow, at the end of this year, I really hope I figured out what this is teaching me, because right now, I don't know what it is, and I was killing myself for it, because like she was someone who I had a shit ton of fun hanging out with, and it was just so easy and comfortable, and it was just like, you know, I didn't have to think twice. And then she was just like, just gone, disappeared. And I was just like, what the fuck happened? And being a guy who had just had that realization of external validation, it was still fresh. Like I hadn't fully fleshed out that idea. I was just like, fuck, what the hell? And I was grappling with the fact that I had lost this person over trying to really, it was just so much stress. I couldn't deal with it. And my friends definitely heard a lot about that. But I don't know, finals were done. I was still thinking about her. Then my internship started. And over the summer, holy shit, it was the best fucking summer ever. Oh my God. I was still like grappling with this kind of stuff and trying to work through it, but holy fuck was this internship a fucking blast. And if you're from my internship and you're still watching this video, which would be kind of crazy if you were, maybe just miss my voice that much, I don't know. But holy shit, being with all those interns and helping organize the events and like just things that we would do, and there's so many people that were so cool and just fun to hang out with, and it was genuinely like, it felt like what I was missing out on in college. Like Georgia Tech is so fucking difficult, and God, I had no time to do anything, to party, to live the way business majors do. Slander, sorry. But anyways, I mean, that had its own set of, I don't know what the word is, difficulties, but it was still a lot of fun. I went on dates over the summer. There was a girl I kissed, and then I fumbled her, and then there's another girl I went on dates with, and then I somehow had the balls to reject her. And, you know, I guess for context here, before this summer, I genuinely had never, I don't even know what the word is. I have never embodied, I've never thought of the idea of rejecting a girl before, ever. Like, ever. I have always thought that I was incapable of finding someone for me, and if someone by chance somehow who like on God, it's like somehow on God's green earth, someone like likes me, someone thinks I'm attractive and wants to go on dates and spend time with me, but like I could not let go, because I was, that idea was so deeply entrenched, whether that was from self-shame, self-hatred, that I just needed this person to care about me and I couldn't afford to lose them again, just like this imaginary someone, and rejecting someone that didn't feel like my type. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that felt like growth. That was me after months and months and months and years of facing myself, asking myself these questions and trying to figure out what I need to change and how I need to grow. I became someone capable of understanding that some people are not my type. Some women are not meant for me. And that's okay. Like, that was a new idea. That was a whole new concept. I was just like, what the fuck? And I guess from that point on, my consciousness has been is being rewritten. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like I haven't even talked about the actual summer enough, but we did karaoke. Fucking, what's the golf thing? I don't know. I don't know. You swing a golf ball, not just golf, but just like that. There's like a net. I don't know. I forget what it's called. We went hiking. We ate food. We had just like good fucking times. And I loved the interns I was working with. I loved all the interns in that group chat. We went line dancing. That shit was some peak. And it's just like, damn, I miss all of y'all. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all again. I got a car. But anyways, this perspective is really weird. Anyways, I've probably been like going out of frame a lot too. But like, amazing summer. Taught me a lot. And I think also there were points where I wish I was able to be better friends with other people. But I think that was in part due to some of my insecurities, which I will get into this next semester, because this last semester of graduation, this semester wasn't as bad. I had a lot more free time, and I probably should have focused more on senior design. Sorry, team. Focused more on myself. Maybe hung out with some of my roommates more. But some of my old roommates too. Sorry, guys. Honestly, just like a lot of, I've been doing my own thing. I'm just gonna say, if you guys are still watching this, if you guys are my like close friends, I operate currently now on, I do my own thing. I exist for myself. Selfish, I know. I do things on my own terms, and I kind of don't think of reaching out otherwise. Not that I don't care about people, but it's just not something. I'm just worried. I'm just doing other shit, and I'm trying to relax on my own, recovering from that shit, and it's not really, I got other shit. I don't know. It's just a lot, and I don't know. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, reach out to me, please, and I'll be down to hang out, because otherwise I'm not going to do anything on my own. I really I have a lot of friends. I'm not bragging, but there's so much shit I have to, sorry. Anyways, back to the semester. Easy semester, lighter semester. I can actually dedicate my time and like lock in and study and be the student I wanted to be after however many years and months and semesters. But I was still hung up on this girl. And so for I think a month and a half, I was trying to figure out, because over the summer, I developed a lot of social confidence, and I think a lot more understanding about how to be myself, how to connect with people, and maybe still some areas that I was lacking in. But I was thinking, if I could bring that to Atlanta, I'll be fucking set in stone. And I did bring that for a bit, but the environment changed, and I had no idea what I was missing, what was going on. And I mean, I realized at the end of the day that, I'm not going to say where I was interning, but the place I interned at, there were a lot of cool interns, a lot of people I was doing stuff with, so there was a lot of social confidence there. But being back at Tech, where I'm locked in, I have fewer friends here, I'm just like, shit. Now this confidence has to come from myself. And before it was coming from the fact that I was doing stuff with other people because I'm an extrovert, and that gave me social confidence. And like, I was trying to be on the dating apps, and the difference between over the summer versus in a semester, just night and day. I'm just like, what's going on? And I really, for some reason, could not let go of this girl. And I'm not going to go into the details. I could, but it's whatever. It's not, but I don't know. I was just doing too much. And I think, oh God, maybe I'll go to it a little bit. No, I can't say, I can't do it. Sorry. But basically, after that month and a half of me trying so goddamn hard to get her attention, figure out how to talk to her, figure out how to connect with her, figure out blah, 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 forcing shit, I just realized I just needed to let it go. Because what I was wanting back from that, I did like her, but I can't confidently say now that the reason why I liked her subconsciously was because of a healthy like it was some obsession. And what I really wanted was the version of myself that I was with her, because I guess because at the semester I met her, it was just so, she just felt like a girl best friend. I was just like, wow, this is so much fun. This is the kind of friendship dynamic I've wanted at Tech this entire time. And then I lost it. I was like, the fuck? And then I just couldn't let go of that idea, that desire, just wanting that back. And I don't know, this past winter semester, fall, I was just like, because I was literally just overthinking, and it was consuming me, and it was not healthy. And really what I needed for myself was someone to tell me that I need to have more respect for myself, because the fact that I was killing myself over this girl who doesn't even want to give me or didn't feel like she wanted to give me the time of day, I was just like, what am I doing? Do I hate myself this much? Is this really what I want for myself? Is staying like this for I can't even articulate, just because I'm amazed at who I was before. Is being this kind of person, is being stuck in this cycle more important to me than just closing off the possibility forever and just moving on? Because really, what I was grappling with was the same kind of cycle, kind of some trauma from middle school or high school got triggered after losing that person. Because I've lost a lot of friends, and I've done a lot of shit that was fucked up, hurt people, inconsiderate, and led to a lot of my insecurities. And this time around, I guess I just had to face all that again, that despite all of the work that I had done, the one person that I wanted was I wasn't good enough for. And really what I had to face was the reality that I'm not entitled. Not that I thought I was entitled to her, but I was still just, there's no amount of work you can do to show someone you're not compatible with in the first place that you're worth their time. Because in the moments where I realized I rejected one girl over the summer, I rejected one other girl at the end of this past semester that I graduated. And it's never about giving more love to this other person to get them to like you back. It's never, if they're not liking what they're seeing, it's for a reason. It's because they know who they are, maybe a little better than you. And they understand that this dynamic is not what they want. It's not what they enjoy. Because maybe I'm just projecting my own experiences here, but I would imagine that if you're spending time with someone that is putting you off somehow, you're not exactly connecting with them, you're not clicking with them, why would you want to spend more time with them? But then imagine if that person keeps trying to do those same things in more exaggerated, more maybe obvious ways, and just they keep pushing and pushing, and you're not giving them anything, but you don't want, it's just a hard position to put someone else in. And I'm realizing that that is what I was doing. And really what should be happening is we should all be communicating a lot better, because this bullshit game of social cues and fucking mind reading and all this, like, maybe I'm autistic. I don't know. Maybe I am. But like, seriously, just be upfront and honest and clear and direct. It can save so much time. And I think, now I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm going to try to embody that because I don't want to waste people's time. I want to give them the respect that they deserve. I want to give people the peace of mind that they deserve. I don't want people to be overthinking, because I know how that is. I know how it is to be wondering and having these questions and not being sure. And I want to communicate with these people, and that's mainly just people I'm interested in, honestly. I don't know, maybe I need to put more value on friends also. Sorry, friends. But that lesson was really hard. It was good though, because it was easier because I didn't see her for like a while, and I didn't have to, and I just started dodging her, which kind of felt uncomfortable. And then I realized I was avoidant on top of that. And I really was bad at talking about my feelings because I wasn't sure how people would be comfortable. And it's really just figuring out how to articulate what you're thinking. Because now I'm reading a book called Theo Golden, and I'm about to finish it. And this old man, it's about an old man who moves to a town called Golden in Georgia. Crazy. And he is one of the kindest, most generous, most sincere old men anyone in that town's ever met. And everyone in the town gets to know him because he starts doing this thing. Someone did portraits of people, and he admired the portraits and wanted to give them each to someone's home, or to each person, to their rightful home. And this old man is he's very respectful, he's very clear, he's very genuine, he communicates honestly about his feelings. And I think that that's something, that kind of etiquette, the social respect, is something that we need to learn, because we just be honest about what we're thinking. Because if I'm not sure if this is the right time or place, then what the fuck is the matter if I just ask? I'm not sure if this is gonna make you uncomfortable, but this shit's been bothering me, and I'll be honest, if I'm off, that's why. And if they wanna hear more about it, then they can. If they wanna ask more, like if they wanna talk about it, like that's cool. But for me, I was just kind of trying to feel okay. I was trying to put on a tough act. And that's back to what I was at the start. You have to know how to express your vulnerabilities, because if you don't, it's just gonna be a torrent of pain and hurt and trauma, and that's not enough for anybody. You don't know anybody's capacity for your hurt. And if you just communicate honestly and clearly, and obviously also they have to be an audience that's reciprocal to that. And if they're not, I'm sorry, you probably can't be honest with them. What you can be honest about though is the fact that you have to, like, I don't think you're capable of handling my pain, and talking to you hurts me more. And honestly, I wish I could tell my parents that. Anyways though, I realized I was hiding my feelings reading that book, and now that's why I'm trying to be more direct and honest and clear and more communicative. But I don't know. Oh God, I don't even know if that was, I glossed over some shit. This is a 45-minute fucking video. I mean, I've done longer videos, I think, but God, I really am. I'm tired now, kind of. I woke up at 6 a.m. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning for my flight today to get back. I had to deal with parking, I had to deal with shit, I had to deal with bullshit, I had to deal with bullshit on top of bullshit, and fuck. I'm just tired, and I want a break. But I want to make this video at least. I'm probably not gonna work out, I gotta eat dinner, I gotta go shopping for food tomorrow. Ugh. Anyways though, man, I don't know. I'm gonna try to make more videos. Try to yap more. Try to maybe I'll come back to this. I definitely will come back to this. But yeah, good God, this year was crazy. I'll say. I think I've done a lot of growing. I'm proud of myself, and at least if you're coming this far to the end of the video, whether you listen to me because you wanted to fall asleep to someone's voice, if you wanted to listen to someone, yeah, that's the same exact shit. If you want to get perspective of someone, if you wanted to see the insights of someone's life, I guess I didn't go into too much detail, so I'm sorry if you were looking for drama and wanted juicy information. I'll give more information in like future videos probably, but at least one message, one lesson that I took away from this year. Yes, I don't know. Be okay with letting go. I guess maybe that wasn't like the biggest lesson, because I think the bigger thing was like the external validation thing. Like that's huge. That is how a lot of people operate. And if we can learn to operate on internal validation instead, doing things that are important to us because we like, but still being open-minded, caring about, I don't know. It's not that I'm whatever. I don't know. Like I think a lot of people would be, I don't know if this is egotistical to say, but I think if people had more open-mindedness, humility, accountability, shame, could face themselves like I have, then I think a lot of people would be better, because running away from your problems is not going to fix those problems. Like you're running away from them. They're going to chase after you. I don't know. Like you have to face them at some point. It's like it's only going to grow. It's only going to evolve, and you're just running away. You're just getting weaker. I don't. And maybe that's exclusive. Like I don't know. I don't want to preface everything like mentally. If you're like struggling mentally, then obviously there is room for compassion there. But at some point, to some degree, for change to happen, you have to make change. And honestly, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm grateful for everyone that is in my life. I'm thankful for everyone that has gotten me to this point. My parents, my friends, my family, the people who are not in my life, the people who are still in my life, the people who come and go, the people that I see passing by, the people I think about helping or talking to, but I hesitate for whatever reason. There are a lot of things about myself that I probably still want to grow in. However, I'm gonna give myself that grace. And oh God, I need a haircut. I'm gonna haircut tomorrow. Haircut, yeah, I got a haircut. I'm just tweaking. But yeah, I don't know. End of my yapping. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this entertained you to some degree. Probably got like 4 views on this video, but peace. Thank you.